You think you know how to drive? Think again. Most people on the road, they're not drivers. They're just passengers behind the wheel, reacting, guessing, relying on instincts they never trained. And yet, they believe they're in control. That's the biggest illusion. The myth of, I've been driving for years, so I must be good. But real drivers? They don't drive with their hands. They drive with their mind. They read every car like a moving story. They predict mistakes before they happen. They see danger 5 seconds before the average driver even twitches. Because experienced drivers don't just drive, they dominate the road. And here's the brutal truth. You're not taught these things in driving school. You're not taught how to manipulate blind spots like a chessboard. You're not trained to feel the flow of traffic like a sixth sense. You're definitely not told how to mentally brake the aggressive tailgater behind you without ever touching your brakes. These are the skills that separate the average from the elite. The ones who survive crashes before they happen. The ones who never panic, even at 100 miles per hour in the pouring rain. The ones who don't hope for safety. They engineer it. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. 90% of drivers on the road right now would fail if you put them in a real-life, high-pressure situation. You don't rise to the level of your confidence. You fall to the level of your training. So if you're watching this just to learn a few tips, close the tab. Go back to being average. But if you want to become the driver who never flinches, who's always 10 moves ahead, who can drive anything, anywhere, in any condition, and make it look effortless, then keep watching. Because what you're about to learn is what the pros never say out loud. Not because it's secret, but because they know. Most people simply aren't ready to hear it. But you just crossed the line between driving like the rest and learning to drive like the best. Let's begin. 1. Drive with your eyes, not your hand. Most drivers look at the car in front of them. Pros, they look through it. An experienced driver always keeps their eyes 2 to 3 cars ahead. Why? Because if you only react to the car in front, you're already late. You're driving blind. When you scan the road far ahead, you're not just seeing traffic, you're seeing time. You're stealing seconds from chaos. That's the advantage pros have. They see the ripple before the wave. 2. Never trust a turn signal. Read the body language instead. Here's what rookies don't understand. Cars have body language, a slight drift, a last-minute twitch, a hesitation at the line. These are the tells, and they matter more than any blinker ever will. The moment you start watching how a car moves, not just what it signals, is the moment you gain predictive power. Pros don't wait to be surprised. They already know what you're about to do, before you do. 3. Use the 3-lane rule to control chaos. Here's what no one teaches you. The safest lane isn't always the rightmost, or the middle, or the left. It's the lane that gives you the most exit strategies. At any given time, a pro driver is calculating which lane has the least pack behavior. Which one gives me escape routes if the car in front slams the brakes? Which lane has the highest visibility, the lowest risk, and the most control? That's why pros switch lanes early, not to be fast, but to be untouchable. 4. Brake with the mind, not the foot. Amateurs slam the brakes when they panic. Pros never panic, because they brake mentally long before their foot touches the pedal. They coast, they control, they anticipate. Every good driver knows this. Smooth equals safe. But great drivers? They know. Smooth equals invisible. When you move like water, nobody crashes into you, because you're always one step ahead and never where the threat expects you to be. 5. Master the ghost space behind and beside you. You were taught to check mirrors, but were you ever taught to control the blind spot? Pro drivers don't just watch it, they own it. They manage the space behind and beside their car like a fortress. If a tailgater shows up, they use subtle speed shifts, road position, and turn signal baits to manipulate that driver into overtaking on their terms. Driving isn't just forward motion, it's 3-dimensional chess. And your rearview mirror? That's your sixth sense. 6. Rain and night? That's your training ground average. Drivers slow down in rain and pray nothing goes wrong. Experienced drivers? They train in it because they know the day everything goes wrong is the day your true skill is tested. So they practice in low grip. They drive with their lights off in a safe lot to test night instincts. They don't wait for disaster to strike, they prepare for it. And that's why when it comes, they're the ones who stay calm while everyone else spirals. 7. The art of invisible dominance. Here's something few will understand. The best drivers don't look aggressive. They don't tailgate. They don't flash lights. They don't honk. But somehow, cars move out of their way. That's not luck. That's invisible dominance. A mix of road position, speed control, and assertive driving posture that influences other drivers' behavior without a single word. It's not about intimidation. It's about presence. Pros command the road quietly, and everyone else just obeys without realizing why. 8. Use the empty car rule to spot danger. Here's a mental trick. If a car in front of you looks empty, assume the worst. No head movement, no visible hands. It means one of two things. The driver is slumped or distracted, or the car is being operated by someone not fully aware. This is a red flag most people ignore. But pros, they see it immediately, and they give space or get away fast. Sometimes, one glance at a driverless-looking car can save your life. 9. Every drive is data. Train like a hunter. The road isn't just a path, it's your training ground. Pros review their mistakes after every drive. They notice patterns in traffic behavior. They track how different cars behave. They even observe which types of vehicles tend to drift, brake late, or change lanes erratically. Every moment behind the wheel is either another blind drive or another level up. The average forgets the ride. The elite learn from every inch of it. These tips, they're not just useful. They're lethal advantages in a world where one mistake can cost everything. Because the road doesn't care how confident you feel. It only rewards those who are trained, calculated, and in total control. And now that you've unlocked what most drivers will never even notice, you're no longer a driver. You're a tactician on wheels. You've just seen the driving tactics most people go their entire lives without even realizing. Now tell me this, which of these tips blew your mind the most? Or better, do you have a driving trick no one else knows? Drop it in the comments. Let's see who the real roadmasters are. And if you feel like you just leveled up behind the wheel, prove it. Hit that like button like a brake in a crisis. I'll see you in the fast lane.